Dawes Act. Now, the Dawes Act is also a form of assimilation, and so what the Dawes Act is going to do is its main goal is it wants to Americanize these Indians, right? It wanted to assimilate these Indians. And so what the Dawes Act is going to do, and keep in mind the Dawes Act is asked on the STAAR test. They ask about the Dawes Act every year on the STAAR test. And so basically what it's going to do, it's going to divide reservation land. Now, these Indians are already living on this land. They're going to divide their land against their will, unbeknownst to them, and they're going to break up their reservation lands into parcels of land. So 160 acres of farmland. And so what these Native Americans would do, what the US government said is, if you assimilate, you can have your 160 acres of land. So basically these Native Americans had their land, it got taken from them by the US government, and the US government wants to give it back to these Indians in under one condition, right? And they had to assimilate. And so instead of helping these Native Americans, and instead of these Native Americans kind of keeping their culture, the Dawes Act is going to destroy Indian culture, because everybody wants land. Everybody needs a place for their children. Everybody needs a place for their family. So some of these Indians are going to assimilate, right? They're gonna take they're going to take the parcels of land and they're going to assimilate. And so that's slowly going to start chipping at the Indian culture and the Indian culture way of life. So some effects of the Dawes Act, there's 3 effects that occurred because of this Dawes Act. One, so instead of helping Native Americans, the Dawes Act, like we mentioned before, nearly destroyed Indian culture. 2, they broke up Indian reservation lands, like I mentioned in the previous slide. And also they opened up land for white settlement on Native American reservation land. So basically what the US government is going to do is they're going to take away this land. They're going to give these parcels of land to these Indians, but also these white settlers are coming to the West, and they're going to want land as well. So guess what? The US government is going to be giving them that land. And so we'll see how these white settlers are going to get their parcels of land and what they had to do in order to maintain that land. So keep in mind, this is the Dawes Act, and I'll go back. Dawes Act, the best way to remember it is Dawes Native American, right? Dawes Native American, because there's going to be another act that's going to give white settlers the same amount of land, but that's under a different name. We'll get to that in a little bit.